Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 11 of our Local to Global here with the Canadian Wrestling Coalition. Now, of course, the previous episode, we finally got up to $30,000. However, in the process, not through any real fault of our own, we unfortunately lost our biggest star, Americana Jr, tearing his quad with ACPW. Was out for 12 months originally. We opted to give him surgery, and as you can see as a result, his duration has gone down to 9 months and 2 weeks. So that's not too bad. But of course, we also crowned a new world champion, a new CWC world champion, Ozzy Goldstein. Actually picked up a victory over Americana, made himself a one-time champion, and I guess it was kind of his first real world title victory. So there we go. He's finally done some good stuff for himself there. But in regards to that, we need to pick up some more wrestling talent. Obviously, one to replace Americana, and two, we also need to replace Ryan Turner, who, if we go back here, as you can see, is off on tour with his band in 13 days. Now, actually, the one last thing I wanted to do before we actually look for anybody is we're going to be running 2 shows per month at the moment. I think that is, without a doubt, the best option for us to go with. So there we go. Coalition Wrestling coming back. It's going to be Wednesday of week 2. Again, it's only on the Wednesday just to compete with one of our rivals in CWA. I just want to have a look. So, for those of you that were interested in CWA and the possibility of them going bankrupt, as you can see at the moment, they're doing really, really well. I think the last time we looked at them, they were at about 1.7 million in the bank. They were also, I think they were medium size as well. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think they were medium. They've now gone up to big size. They're ranked 8th in the world, and they're just shy of $5 million in the bank. So, as you can see, they're doing really, really well. As you can see, up to 80 popularity. If we track that, I mean, they're up only 4 points in the last year. Kind of unfortunate that we can't really go back any further and have a look at what they were to begin the series. But I'm assuming if they were probably big. I don't think they were medium-sized now that I think about it. They were probably big. Anyway, doesn't matter too much regardless. But just thought I'd give you a little update on them. And they are the reason why we are going back to a Wednesday show to essentially go head-to-head, even though realistically we're a long, long way off actually beating them. Excuse me. So yeah, let's get into possible recruits coming in. Now we might also actually sign an announcer. I've been tossing and turning. I actually had a look after we finished recording the last episode, and there are some announcers. There are some really good ones, and there are obviously some not so good ones. But the real question is, who are we going to sign? Now, obviously, we do have a shortlist. Maybe I should just go straight into the shortlist. Might be a better option. How does this guy have so much popularity? He's got 61 popularity in America. I'm assuming it's because he's a former football player. So I'm going to assume that is the reason why. I find that very, very strange that he's going to have that high popularity. What about BB Colossus? He's pretty bad. Actually, he's not too bad at all, really. I think maybe we should bring in BB Colossus to be the leader of our sort of dark stable. What about Boneyard? Where's Boneyard? Or is he not? Yeah, I guess he's not active, I would assume, in that region. What about Brimstone as well? Brimstone could be a decent option as well. He's actually pretty bad for a 32-year-old, now that I think about it. Anyway. The real question is, who are we going to bring in? Because, I mean, we could go Captain Canada again. But do we really want to go Captain Canada? That's the question. I mean, Chance Fortune is available. I think Daryl Devine is available as well. Now, I think we will actually pick up Chip Martin here. And he is the son of Johnny Martin. Got a lovely beard there for a 21-year-old. He's not the best in the world, but he does have good star quality. His in-ring ability is not too bad. Just lacking a little bit of psych there. Really good stamina, athleticism as well. Obviously, gonna be really cheap, only 20 per appearance. So, you know, he was kind of on our shortlist for sure, and was one of the guys we were looking at signing next. So we may as well just bring him in. Just another solid young worker. And then on top of him, I think let's have a look at Daryl Devine. I've always been a pretty big fan of Daryl. He's also relatively over. It's going to be a little bit expensive. It's going to be a lot expensive, actually. 600 per show. Looking at this, though, I'm wondering if Davis Wayne Newton would actually be a better option. Honestly, I think he would actually be the better option of the two. He's the better wrestler, for sure. But got the exact same popularity. He's also going to be the exact same price. And he would be another big star that we could really use for the next 9 months. I'm wondering if we can get this price down a bit. Let's go down to like 400. And then go events. Let's go less. Let's go like 300 because I want to see what his sort of counter offer is going to be. All right, so let's go 350. $380. I mean, I'm just going to keep going up until he actually gives me a proper... Okay, so 470. That's actually not too bad. Under 500. And he's probably going to want 20%. Yeah. Okay. I mean, that seems fine. I'm actually really happy with that. He's also Canadian. Davis Wayne Newton, so... It works. It really does work. I mean, again, the only downside with him is the fact that there's a pretty high chance that he'll be taken away by either US Pro, TCW, or SWF. Actually, it could even be CWA, because they are essentially a real competitor for us. Well, for, I guess, the top signings in the country and the game, I guess. Alright. I mean, do we maybe want to get someone else in? One more person, perhaps? I could try and talk to Yuta Asano. Maybe we try and do that. Let's have a look at Yuta. I know I said I was going to wait a little while, but we're getting pretty close to... Not Yutaka Regatta. Yuta Asano. There he is. So yeah, let's see if we can have a little chat with him. Career... and open to work in Canada. Okay, there we go. It was simply that easy to get him to work in Canada. Perfect. 30 per show. Sounds good to me. And here are his skills, in case you were interested. As you can see, he is very, very, very talented at 22 years old. Looking like, I would say, a better member than most of our roster already. So yeah. Alright, so we're going to get 3 new workers in. It's a lot. It's a lot. But it should be fine. And especially if we're going to get onto TV and eventually actually run a weekly TV show, I would prefer to go for an hour and a half. I know that might not be financially viable, but it is kind of something I wanted to do. All right, so there is Chip Martin. Still waiting on a few other ones. Wayne Fry would be a nice announcer to pick up. But I think we actually might go for the second best announcer that we can probably get, realistically. And that is Mitch Nace, who I think currently works for PSW, or that he owns PSW. I'm pretty sure it's PSW. I mean, we can always check, but okay, so there's Yuta Asano as well. And we are just waiting on Davis Wayne Newton. And then I think the roster will be pretty well filled out, I would say. And of course, you know, I mean, we're only going to grow bigger. So the fact that Americana will essentially be back by the start of next year will be a good thing. And of course, it might actually be like a beneficial thing for him to get injured for that long, purely for the fact that hopefully by about a year's time, I would like to be getting close to going up to medium size. I know that's like pushing it a little bit and asking a lot, but is it really? I don't know. I mean, we're only, what, about 13 points away from going up to small size, which would be the equivalent of regional. So I don't actually think it's that far away. I mean, we're essentially... So right now I would say we're about essentially a third of the way to medium. And it's only going to sort of pick up speed once we, you know, get on to WrestleWorld. Of course, getting on WrestleWorld, and then, like I said, getting the weekly TV show out, along with a pay-per-view at the end of every month. That should be more than enough to sort of skyrocket our popularity points. We are currently at 22. I'm assuming we're actually very close to getting to 23. I'm kind of hoping that will come after this next show. Alright, so who's absent? Just Kamikaze. No, of course, Americana as well, with his injury. Also worth noting that the wrestling industry is down to an 81. So we got to 100. And it's then fallen 19 points, along with the economy as well. So we could actually be getting into a pretty dire situation over this like whole next year, maybe even the year after. So after that, we might be struggling a little bit. Anyway, for this main event, I think I want to just test out. I mean, I don't think we can actually test out Asano. Yeah, we can't do that. Okay, what shall we do instead? Let's give a debut to Davis Wayne Newton. I think he can take on Gary Walker in our main event. Let's give that 20 minutes. That should be a good match. We'll give Davis the victory on his debut. Going to be like a main eventer for us, so... You know, it kind of makes sense. Can he cut a promo? He definitely can, can't he? Yeah, definitely. Gotta love that 86 star quality there as well. Too bad he's not a face, because we could have made him the figurehead of the company. What do we want to do next? Let's go a tag match. And let's go with... let's go with the Rock City Stars to take on Primetime Jack Pride and James Diaz, essentially our newest team albeit they don't really look like a team together, if we're being honest. It's a very, very strange thing to see. Jack Pride and James Diaz. Up next, let's give Asano his debut. I think he can take on Robin Newman. And we'll give the victory straight to Yuta Asano. Even though it is his debut, I kind of want to push him straight away because he's really good, and we essentially need good workers at the moment that are going to be, relatively cheap, and of course, don't really have to worry about the pay rise because he doesn't work for any other companies. I guess the only thing to be worried about is if ACPW decide to pick him up. Hopefully that wouldn't be something they do because he's not exactly a high flyer, which is usually their sort of go-to. So yeah, that'd be worst case scenario prior to us getting on WrestleWorld. And I guess our last match, let's go another tag match. I know I probably shouldn't do it, but let's do it anyway. So let's go for Young and Wasted. And they can take on Chip Martin on debut and Bowden Snoop. We'll go with that. We'll give Brett Kyle the victory there. And I guess we'll make that the work the crowd match as well. Alright, so let's do some angles. Let's go for... I wonder if we can do a double angle. So Davis Wayne Newton and then Gary Walker as well. Have them both be together. I'm hoping that won't be overusing him. Okay, perfect. We'll make this our storytelling match. And then I guess we want another angle, possibly for Jack Pride. Primetime Jack Pride, sorry. And James Diaz. I think Diaz is Menace, so let's go like Menace for him. And then we'll chuck that there, that's fine. Alright, that actually looks pretty good. So let's run the show. Alright, so we start off with a 35 rating where we have Young and Wasted defeating Chip Martin and Bowden Snoop in 11:50 when Brett Kyle pinned Chip Martin with a shooting star press. And of course, Chip was the weak link with an 8 in-ring performance. That is, I think, the worst we've actually seen. Or I think someone might have got it in a 7 early in the series. I can't remember 100% though. That doesn't look good. Doesn't look good for Chip Martin. Anyway, debuting his next-gen gimmick, getting an initial rating of very good. But, yeah. I mean, it's actually not a very good gimmick for him. Not suitable to be used by babyface, gives a small penalty to star quality, and can be penalized for lengthy angles. Not great. We then go into a 37 rated angle where we have Primetime Jack Pride and James Diaz. Leading into their tag match, which gets a 43, where we have Primetime Jack Pride and James Diaz defeating the Rock City Stars in 12:15 when James Diaz pinned Rock and Ryan Turner with an Asian thumb spike. Again, the excellent chemistry. But unfortunately, we had both Ryan Turner and Jack Pride off their games. Moving into a 28 rated debut, where we have Yuta Asano defeating Robin Newman in 11:40 by pinfall with an Asano face melter. And he's debuted his sneering smug heel gimmick, getting an initial rating of adequate. And apparently Robin and Yuta have pretty good chemistry together. So that's beneficial, I guess. Help the match rating out a little bit. Moving into a 41, which was a little bit lower than I thought it might be. We have an angle between Davis Wayne Newton and Gary Walker. Unfortunately, Davis did not do well without a script, but debuts his triple threat gimmick, getting an initial rating of great, so that's pretty good. And apparently it is a marketable gimmick, which will sell more merchandise than usual. Nice. That's a really cool thing to see. Going to be pretty beneficial as well for our financial side of things. And the main event getting us a 47 there, where we have Davis Wayne Newton defeating Gary Walker in 1931 by pinfall with a fisherman's suplex. But unfortunately, Davis seemed off his game. So that kind of sucks a little bit. Anyway, let's finish the show. Not the best main event in the world, and definitely not the best show in the world either. We only get a 44 overall show rating. But again, still good enough to increase our popularity, which is the main thing. Now, I don't think we actually have any morale issues apart from Kamikaze, so let's just praise some random people. I mean, obviously the two guys on debut, we'll give both of them some praise. And yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter who else. I think we gave it to Taylor there. Yeah, that wasn't a great show. But we're going to have a few of those where the shows aren't going to be too great. And meanwhile, we've got CWA with a 91 rated main event with the two women, Brooke Tyler and Amber Allen. It seems like their women are almost stronger than their men. They have Matthew Keith as well. Really? Okay, well that changes a few things. He's going to be hard to beat. Yeah, very interesting. Leaving Burning Hammer. Coming to CWA. 107,000 per month though. That's pretty expensive. I mean, if you look at Christian Price here, he's only on 60,000, and he's essentially one of their best workers they have in the company. So yeah, Keith is nearly on double, nearly, but definitely a very solid pickup to get. Okay, so let's just keep advancing. Let's get into the next show. Again, we're only probably going to make about $5,000 for this month, so it's nothing too serious. As you know, the 1 month, one show sort of scenario that we were going for initially is obviously more profitable, but if you think about it, it kind of doesn't really make sense because we make 5,000 with 2 shows, or we make 8,000 with 1 show. And in theory, you would think that running 1 show would be double the profit, but it's not. So it seems like a weird thing, which is kind of the reason why I'm kind of deciding to go with, 2 shows per month. I think it could be more beneficial in the long run, especially with the fact that we're, essentially growing the fan base and, of course, getting the ticket sales as well. We're paying, well, they're paying a normal ticket price as opposed to the free tickets we were given away before, and essentially getting the biggest amount of popularity we could get for our size. I don't know what the limit would be. We'd have to, I guess, test that to an extent. But the last time we did 2 shows, we definitely got popularity on both of them. We actually gained a point for each show the last time. So I guess in theory I should have a look and see if we actually went up to 23 popularity, because that'd be pretty interesting as well. Anyway, I'm looking forward to the conundrum. Let's just say the conundrum of WrestleWorld. I feel like it's either going to be make or break, and I don't know. It's an interesting thing because it is going to cost us a lot of money. Now, like I said, we could just stick to running 2 shows per month on WrestleWorld, and obviously not going for the weekly TV show to begin with, which I think is definitely the smartest option to go with, purely for the fact that there's probably no way in hell that we can actually afford to run 4 weekly shows, or like four weekly shows in a month, and then a monthly pay-per-view as well. Because the broadcast revenue that we're going to be getting from WrestleWorld is not going to be anywhere near enough, I would say, probably to sustain that many shows, 5 shows per month. Although it could probably sustain us, even with the sort of increased production value cost, that it's going to obviously push us much higher and reduce our profit. But I think we hopefully should be able to cover it and still hopefully make a little bit. And then obviously the growth is going to tick up, even with only having 2 shows. But the growth across all the regions in both the US and Canada will, in theory, bring us more merchandise revenue and, of course, more sponsorship money there as well. And then obviously the more popular we get, the more broadcast revenue we're going to start to get as well. And if we're able to negotiate our time slot, stuff like that, you know, it's only going to benefit us even more, to be fair. All right, well, there's the original Americana. Of course, the mentor of Americana Jr. All right, so let's get into this next show here. I do want to check the size of the company before we start booking, so let's do that. Nothing too serious there. GSW going in for Deacon Darkhold, which is interesting. And yeah, Rockin' Ryan Turner. So he's going to be gone for 3 months as well on his tour with his band. So that's interesting. All right. Let's yeah, so we're up a decent amount even still at the moment. But that will go down a little bit. So yeah, size. Yeah, so we actually gained another point after that last show. We're up to 23. So we literally need 2 more points of popularity, and we will essentially qualify, apart from our production values, to get onto WrestleWorld. So this essentially could be the episode. Could be the episode. Anyway, we are missing Bowden Snoop, and we're also missing Kamikaze once again. We've got Zippy Deverell in fine form before the show, keeping everybody in a hilarious mood, which is perfect. And yeah, 215 fans expected. Now, of course, the number 1 contender at the moment is James Diaz. So let's have him take on Ozzy Goldstein. Should be a good match. We'll give it 20 minutes. And overall, I think it's a really good opportunity for Diaz to get his feet into the water, you know, in regards to the main event. And I'm looking forward to him, you know, eventually, one day becoming something special for us. Next match we're going to have is Feel Good Inc. taking on Doomsday Generation. And I think we'll give Gary Walker the victory there as well. There we go. Nice little tag match. Go another singles match here. Let's go with Pepper Pelton. And he can take on Stan Manor. Actually, let's not go Manor. Let's go Art Reed. And we'll give Art Reed the victory there as well. Hopefully he'll help out Pepper a little bit. Get him on the right path. And then finally, let's do another tag match. And let's go with Charlie Corner, Marco Gonzalez, Yuta Asano, and I guess Primetime Jack Pride. I don't want to see if these two have any chemistry, because they could actually be a really cool tag team. Being Asano and Pride. We'll give the victory to Asano. Kind of, I guess you could see it as us strapping a rocket to him a little bit. What's his popularity? Already up to 12 pop. So yeah, let's do some angles. Let's go for Ozzy Goldstein, sorry. And then let's go for, I guess, Feel Good Inc. as well. So Gary and Zippy. Give them both success as well. 8 minutes. Non-scripted. We'll advance the storyline as well. Not that I think it matters too much. So that'll go there. This can be the storytelling match, even though there's not really any story to be told. And this one, I mean, do I want to give... I kind of want to give them an angle as well, but we'd really have to shorten the match in order to do that. Let's do it anyway. So Asano and Primetime Jack Pride. Double entertainment. We'll give it 6 minutes. Oh, okay, it's fine. I wonder if we can give it 8. Yeah, being slightly overused. Okay, that's fine. That looks pretty good. Let's run the show. All right, so we start off with a 40. Obviously, as you can see, Yuta Asano being held back by a language barrier, not speaking the same language as the fans. But that's fine. I kind of just want him in the angles so he can, you know, get the popularity rub off. And like I said, these two could be a really cool tag team. They essentially look like they're made to be a tag team. But yeah, both improvising well without a script, even though Asano can't speak English. Pretty hilarious. We then go into a 29 rated tag team match. Unfortunately, no positive chemistry, which kind of sucks. But anyway, we do have Yuta Asano and Primetime Jack Pride defeating Charlie Corner and Marco Gonzalez in 11:36 when Yuta Asano pinned Charlie Corner with an Asano face melter. That's a good match. I like it. We then go into a 27, which is really bad, considering Art Reed's in this match. And he defeats Pepper Pelton in 12:08 by submission with a dreadlock. Yeah, really bad match. Art Reed really off his game in this one as well. Not too happy with that performance, actually. Might reconsider his place on the roster. Alright, we then go into a 52, which makes me a little bit happier, where we have Feel Good Inc., of course, the team of Gary Walker and Zippy Deverill, and of course, they both enjoyed the freedom going off script, so good stuff for them. Going into their tag match, which gets a 35, and we have Feel Good Inc. defeating Doomsday Generation in 12:21 when Gary Walker pinned Wicked Lester with a pants pull sunset flip. And yeah, Gary Walker head and shoulders above everybody else with a 37 in-ring performance. Alright, we then go into a 57 rated angle from Ozzy Goldstein. Unfortunately struggled going off script. But of course, leading into our main event for Total Eclipse 2. And we get a 55, so that's pretty respectable. I'm happy with that. And we have Ozzy Goldstein defeating James Diaz in 20 minutes 13 seconds by pinfall with a golden shower. Ozzy Goldstein making defense number 2 of the CWC World title. Yeah. Unfortunately, in this one, James Diaz was really off his game, which is, I would say, a little bit unlike James, but I guess being in the main event might have gotten to him a little bit. Either way, it's still a pretty good match. I'm happy with it. All right, let's finish the show. Yeah, so it's a much better improved performance from our last show. We get a 50 overall rating for Total Eclipse, and once again increasing the popularity. So, yeah, the double popularity increase, which is very good to see. Let's go Zippy Deverell there as well. Just again, a couple of random praises there to some of our younger members of our roster. Let's take a look and see if we're actually gone up to 24. We haven't. Okay. That's interesting. But let's advance one day. And I want to see how much money we made for that month. Looks like it might be a little bit lower than what it was. Looks like it might have been about 7,800 for that month. Yeah, it was only 7,000, actually. That's a pretty big decrease. Actually, technically it's not, because those months we were obviously only running the one show. You know what? I'm actually happy with running 2 shows. I really am happy with it. Because it's substantially more than we were getting before. Yeah, I think we're fine doing 2 shows per month now. I think we're definitely fine. I'm wondering if we should maybe start investing into our merchandise. So upgrading in a normal manner is going to cost us $50 per week and give us 12.5% of progress. At the next level, so we're currently level 1, which is Ramshackle. At the next level, you'd be getting around 50 cents per fan at live shows, and then $1 per popularity point per region from your mail order. I don't think we do it, because obviously I was about to do it. I was very, very close to doing that. We need to wait. We need to get into the next event, and we need to try and get up to 25 popularity, and then essentially make our decision if we're going to go to WrestleWorld or not. I think that's the most important thing to do right now. But yeah, so far so good. I mean, we are essentially gaining a point of popularity per month, so that's the most important thing. Which is what we were essentially doing that prior with the free tickets, but then I guess every 2 or 3 months we would gain 2 points. So it's an interesting thing to say. It also might be worth me just, keeping an eye on some of the new wrestlers coming through dojos and just coming into the game as well. Might be a pretty beneficial thing. To look into. Just seeing if we can snag a couple of, really talented youngsters. I mean, another thing I could do is maybe go for some decent workers, such as Rudy Velasquez and Hector Galindo. Bring them in maybe for 1 or 2 appearances each. Have them lose their matches. Could be an interesting little thing to do. We could actually do that to our competitors. Well, we couldn't really do it to Black Maple. Because we would essentially just steal their workers from them. But we could do it to ACPW. Maybe get in a few familiar faces, such as Jason Van Pelt and... who else? Topher as well. We could get Topher in for a couple of appearances. That could be an interesting way to bring in some of those other guys that we used to work with. Maybe even Marcel to an extent. Have him come in for 1 or 2 shows. Probably only 1 show, because then he would leave straight away. And not, you know, upstate or upset our backstage rating. Alright, so let's book this next show here. And of course we are. We're getting super, super close. Alright, so we actually have Kamikaze for this show. We've also got Wrestlers Court here for Stan Manor. He's got a small positive impact as well as a result, so that's pretty cool. Happy with that. What are we going to do for our main event? Let's go a triple threat match. I guess #1 contenders match, essentially. So let's go Stan Manor, Davis Wayne Newton, and I guess, should we just go Art Reed? I mean, Gary Walker maybe deserves an opportunity. Probably not. Let's just go for those 3. And I think we'll actually give the victory to Stan Manor, and I guess the loss will be for Art Reed. You might be wondering, you know, why not just give, you know, Davis Wayne Newton the victory? Well, if I'm being honest, if he is going to be the champion, which he probably will at some stage, I kind of want to make him work for it a little bit. And again, I am sort of also worried that he's just going to be leaving the company pretty much at any time when a big company, you know, chooses to come in for him. Alright, so next match, let's go for... Actually, we could have gone Kamikaze. That might have been a smarter option to go with. It doesn't matter. So let's go for Pepper Pelton and... I guess... Chip? Yeah, we'll go Chip. This could be a really, really bad match. Because everybody in it's not very good. So yeah, it might be a bad one. A little bit worried about it. A little bit. Anyway, next match will be Asano taking on Bowden Snoop. Why not? Yeah. They didn't verse each other, did they? No. Oh, he versed Robin Newman. That's correct. Alright, so Asano, I mean, he's on a winning streak since his debut. And that is going to continue. So there we go. Another nice victory there for Asano. And the final match, let's go with... We'll throw Kamikaze in there. So we'll go Kamikaze and... I don't know, Charlie Corner. Yeah, I mean, Kamikaze, Robin Newman. Let's give Robin Newman a victory. And I guess they can take on Young and Wasted. But we will give the pinfall to Kamikaze. There we go. Okay. So let's do angles. I want to go for Davis Wayne Newton by himself. Entertainment for him. Let's also add him to that title storyline as well. There we go. Let's also do an angle for... I guess we could go Kamikaze. Kind of an angle just to refamiliarize himself with the fans of CWC. I mean, I guess that's it. Let's go a Doomsday Generation angle as well. So let's go Sinner and Wicked Lester. Again, I want to try Menace between these two. Give them a little bit of success there as well. Tag division. That's being done by Art Reed. Really just don't want Art Reed. I might take him off Road Agency. I mean, it'll be good for the future once we have, you know, much bigger shows. But it's just not really a concern right now. Anyway, let's run this show. Another Coalition Wrestling. We start off with a 47 rated angle from Kamikaze. Enjoying the freedom to go off script. But he's basically saying to the fans that he's now back and he wants to get back to the very top. There was a lot of momentum behind him just before he left to go and work in Mexico for a few months. And he's, now found his way back to Canada, back to the coalition, and he wants a chance at the world title in the near future. His tag team match does pretty well, getting a 46. We have Kamikaze and Robin Newman defeating the established tag team of Young and Wasted in 12:01 when Kamikaze pinned Brett Kyle with a reverse 450 splash. And yeah, Kamikaze, the strong link, Robin Newman, the weak link in this one. It's a good match though, happy with that. We then go into a 31 rated match where we have Yuta Asano defeating Bowden Snoop in 11:37 by pinfall with an Asano face melter. Unfortunately, Bowden Snoop off his game. But we also have Asano getting better at his gimmick. So that's beneficial. And then go into a 24 rated angle where we have Doomsday Generation cutting a Menace promo together. Not great, but it leads into their tag match, which does worse. I knew it was going to be pretty bad. We get a 21 where we have Doomsday Generation defeating Pepper Pelton and Chip Martin in... Could be a tag team. Pepper Chips. Yeah, anyway. In 12:23, when Wicked Lester pinned Chip Martin with a flying elbow drop. Unfortunately, the bout dragged in the middle with a lack of flow, because everybody has pretty bad psychology. I'm gonna get my word out then, jeez. Everyone has really bad psychology in this match. We then go to a 44. I think that's the second time Davis Wayne Newton's struggled without a script, so I guess we'll give him a script in the future now. But yeah, Davis Wayne Newton saying that he's going to become the #1 contender to the world title by winning the triple threat match up next. Match does pretty well. We had to keep Newton strong, but it does get a 52. And we have Stan Manor defeating Davis Wayne Newton and Art Reed in 2021 when Stan Manor pinned Art Reed with a rock and roller. And as you'd expect, Davis Wayne Newton carrying the match. Yeah, it's a pretty good show. It's not too bad. It's not going to be the greatest. Yeah, we get a 47 overall show rating there, increasing our popularity in one region, which is fine. Like I said, usually the coalition shows are not going to be as good as the sort of main pay-per-view shows. It's kind of to be expected. But let's go Davis Wayne Newton. Let's go Kamikaze. And let's go Wicked Lester. Why not? Give him some encouragement there. There we go. Perfect. I've been recording a lot of these episodes back to back, and I have to say I'm really enjoying. What is that? Rumble Rock TV. Do they have a B show now? TCW have a B show, I think. Very interesting. It's another decent show by CWA, I guess. It's an 81. It's pretty much what their popularity is at the moment. Okay, let me actually go and have a look at that. I want to have a look at TCW for a second. Where do we find it? Events and TV. Yeah, it is a B show. Wow. Didn't really expect that, to be honest. But there we go. They have 52 million in the bank. Well done, TCW. What about some other companies? So, Oli is up to medium, which is interesting. 4.5 mil in the bank. Who else we got? What about CZCW? Yeah, not so good. What about... let's have a look at Black Maple. So yeah, they are still essentially losing money. Of course, we gave them 500,000 recently, or Honest Frank, the owner, gave them 500,000. Black Canvas Grappling is apparently a medium-sized company now as well. Obviously, doing a lot better than I did. They got 2 million in the bank as well. Okay. What else? Actually, I kind of want to have a look at that because, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of wondering. I mean, I suppose we only got about what 6 or 7 months into the game, and we're in June, so it's a year and a half. I suppose if I had that much time, I'd probably get us up to medium. Anyway, just want to have a look and just see if any of these other companies are even close to getting up to medium size. I mean, PSW are actually very, very close. They're very close. They're up to a 54 in the tri-state, which is their home region. And then they've got a 46 over here in New England. So, I mean, 5 more points of popularity and PSW goes up to a medium-sized company, which will actually be really, really bad for us because they're going to want to sign most of the best workers to exclusive written contracts, which could really, really screw us over. Yeah, I didn't think about that. I did not think about that at all. They've got nearly 1 million in the bank as well. Let's have a look at IPW as well. Okay, so they're a little bit further behind. 42 pop there, and then 24 pop in their second region. Who else? What about the women's companies? Yeah, I mean, their QAW are pretty close. 53 in the Mid-South, and, 33 in the Southeast, and, yeah, 33 in the Southeast, Southwest, which is their spillover regions. So they're getting pretty close as well. Only need 2 in those ones, and then 6 in the Mid-South. Oh, they've actually got a TV show. Is it a TV show or is it a weekly show? Yeah, it is literally a TV show. Wow. Have they always had that? Or did they get that in the game? When did they make that TV show? Or is that like an actual thing for QAW? I don't know. Maybe they got it when they went to WrestleWorld. What about GSW as well? Yeah, they're similar to IPW. Pretty far off. Anyway, that's all very off topic. I think we might end the episode there. We've done a little bit. Signed some replacements. We've gone up to 23 popularity. Actually, let's run one more show. Let's run one more. Come on. What am I saying? Let's get up to 24 popularity before we end it. We're only, what, 54 minutes in. I mean, what's another 10 minutes? And, of course, we've got to do Stan Manor taking on our boy, Ozzy Goldstein. I'm looking forward to this match. Like I said, I wanted to make Stan Manor, I guess, somewhat of a main eventer with Ryan Turner leaving. I mean, look at Mobstar there. Mobstar looks really good. Of course, I've always been a pretty big fan of Mobstar. 93 basics, 74 psychology. That's pretty solid. That is definitely pretty solid. All right. I mean, we've essentially got a week and a half left to process. And we'll get into our last show of the episode. I mean, I'd love to eventually get our own dojo as well. I know that's talking a long time in the future, because obviously we've only just gotten ourselves financially viable, or sustainable, I guess is the correct word to use there. Yeah, financially sustainable. And even then, we actually might not be sustainable, depending on how the rest of the world production values, cost, could definitely throw us out a little bit. Either way, it's going to be really interesting. I mean, another thing we might start doing once we go up to small size is to implement a women's division, which is definitely something we want to do. Purely for the fact that CWA have a women's division as well. So realistically, we want to be competing. Want to be competing on all fronts, and I would have to say that CWA's women's division is probably better than their men's division for the most part. So it's going to be a tough market to break into, but we should definitely be able to do it. All right, what have we got here? Pay rise request. Oh, lovely. So we have a pay rise request from Americana Jr, who is out injured for another 8 months. I mean, realistically, I may as well just give him the $500 because he's not going to be around for another 8 months. Yeah, let's just give him 75%. So he's not going to have any morale issues or anything like that. He's not going to be paid. So I don't have to really worry about it, I guess. Alright, so Katie Cameron is now dating Eric Blackley. So there we go. Interesting. We got 4 more days to process through. And then we'll get into our last show. Looking like this episode is probably going to be about an hour and 10 minutes long. Which is not too bad. I feel like most of these episodes are starting to get to a bit of a longer length. Similar to what happened with the Road to Glory series. Which is fine because obviously I like playing. So the more I get to play and the more hopefully you guys enjoy watching, everything should work out pretty nicely. And again, if you are enjoying the series, make sure you show your support. The like ratings on each video, they really do mean a lot to me. They don't actually help the videos out, to be honest, because I think the way YouTube works is the algorithm, I think, goes based off of views and then the actual viewer watch time as well. I don't think likes are really taken into that. I think they used to be, but I think the big wigs over at YouTube sort of changed that in the past. Alright, so let's book this last show. Main event, obviously, is going to be Goldstein taking on, where is he? Stan Manor. Should be a good main event. I think that definitely should be a good main event. Call it. I think we can call. Let me just take a double check at Stan's psychology. Yeah, 72. He's really good. World title on the line. There we go. Alright, next match. Let's go a tag team match for Feel Good Inc. And they can take on... who can they take on? Let's go Diaz and Gonzalez. I think we'll actually let's give Gary Walker the victory, and I guess Gonzalez can be the loser. It's not a bad tag team match there. I like that. Next, let's go with Davis Wayne Newton. I was gonna maybe not use him. Actually, let's do something. Let's go Art Reed taking on Yuta Asano. And this is going to be Asano's first loss in the company. The 46-year-old veteran is just going to be a little bit too good for him today. And it's going to sort of take him back down a peg. Then finally, let's go with a 6-man tag. Our first 6-man tag of the series. Let's go with Primetime Jack Pride. And I guess he can team up with Young and Wasted to take on Charlie Corner, Bowden Snoop, and Robin Newman. Yeah, why not? There we go. And we'll give the victory to Jack Pride. Alright, nice. That'll be our first match. We'll give I guess we can give the angle to... Can these boys talk? They can. Yeah, they can. They can cut an angle together. Young and Wasted. Let's do a 3-man angle. So we'll go Primetime Jack Pride. Then we'll go Brett. And then we'll go Taylor. I think we'll script all 3 of them. Just because... You know, it's a little bit scary. Obviously, I know Primetime Jack Pride can cut a decent angle, but too sure about the other 2. Anyway, Ozzy Goldstein going to be in an angle by himself, and I think we will script him because he actually was... No, it was Davis Wayne Newton. Sorry, that was the one that needs to be scripted. So there we go. Goldstein's always pretty good with his unscripted angles. And then finally, Gary Walker and Zippy Deverell can be together in a nice little angle for themselves. I'm really hoping that their popularity can start going up a little bit higher because I feel like their angles together, especially Gary Walker, their angles or his angles, you know, are just going to be out of this world probably. And they're really going to help our show ratings overall. So yeah, there we go. That is our last show. Let's get into it. Alright, so we start off with a 42 rated angle for our trio team, being Jack Pride, Brett Kyle, Taylor Norton. Leading into their match in our first ever 6-man tag, where we get a 38, where we have Primetime Jack Pride and Young and Wasted defeating Charlie Corner, Bowden Snoop, and Robin Newman. In 12-18, when Primetime Jack Pride pinned Robin Newman with a Pride fall. Yeah, it's a pretty good match. 38's not too bad. We then go into a 37 rated match where we have Art Reed taking Yuta Asano down a peg or 2 by defeating him in 11:47 by submission with a dreadlock. So there we go. Asano's first loss in the company. We then go into a 45 rated angle for Feel Good Inc. Of course, our 2 resident entertainers getting stuff done. And also getting the victory here in a 38 rated match where we have Feel Good Inc. defeating James Diaz and Marco Gonzalez in 11:40 when Gary Walker pinned Marco with a pants pull sunset flip. And yeah, Zippy was really off his game and as a result only got a 22 in-ring performance. We then go into a 74 rated angle, which is unexpected from Ozzy Goldstein, our world champion. Safe to say that he might be the new Americana Jr. in regards to a leading champion. 74, I think that's higher. Is that our highest ever angle? That might be our highest ever angle, I can't remember. I know for a fact Americana once got a 72. But did he... I think he might have gotten an 80 actually as well. Now that I think about it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Ozzy getting better at his gimmick, using the freedom off script to his advantage as well. And the main event of Urban Wasteland 2 isn't the greatest in the world, but it's still relatively good. We get a 53, and we have Ozzy Goldstein defeating Stan Manor in 1940 by pinfall with a golden shower. Ozzy Goldstein makes defense number 3 of the CWC World title. And yeah, Ozzy Goldstein, Stan Manor have great chemistry as well together in singles matches. So yeah, could be another really good storyline, at least for the next 3 months, I guess. We could maybe have a rematch between these two. And yeah, 60 in-ring for Ozzy and a 49 there for Stan. And we get a 53 for the overall show rating of Urban Wasteland. And again, increasing our popularity in one region. Let's see. I think we have to go for Ozzy. And I guess Stan as well. Because they were both really quite impressive. Quite impressive indeed. And then let's, I guess, praise... let's go for Bowden Snoop, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter too much. There we go. That was an unexpected angle by Ozzy Goldstein. I really didn't expect him to be getting a 74 like that. Either way, let's have a look at the popularity, and there we go. We're up to 24. We need one more point of popularity, which we're going to get obviously in the next episode. Let me advance one day. Let's get into the next month, and once again, we'll have a look at the profit of the month of June. Hopefully, it's about another 7,000. Could be a little bit less because we actually did use more workers. And of course, I think we also used Kamikaze as well this month. Alright, so let's have a look. Alright, yeah, it's a little bit less. We made $6,500. So it is about the same, but like I said, it's about, what, 600 less? Which is probably the extra $600 that we used on workers. So there we go. However, we are just shy of $44,000 in the bank, which is beneficial, and that's going to be great as we do gear up the next episode going into a possible broadcasting partnership with WrestleWorld. Anyways, guys, again, if you enjoyed the episode, please make sure you smash the like button. It'd be very much appreciated. Also, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already, or if you're new around here, and make sure you turn on that bell notification as well, and you'll be notified when these episodes come out in the future. And of course, guys, as always, take it easy, and goodbye.